Night 3 of Caravel, Chapter 22, Legendary. Tella would have traded a year of her life for another hour's sleep. She didn't even care that she possibly had less than 1 year to live. She never wanted to leave the blissful blue comfort of her bed with all its soft blankets and downy pillows. Yesterday had been brutally long, but she already slept much more than she should have, and if she never got up, she would definitely have less than 1 year to live. Beat. Beat. Nothing. Nothing. Beat, beat, nothing, beat, beat, nothing, nothing. Her heart was even slower than it had been the night before, but it was still beating, and Tella would make sure it didn't stop. It did slow her down a bit, but after drinking a pot of strong tea and earning several toffee tarts and berry puffs, she felt a little more like herself. She managed to finish dressing just before twilight. For that evening, she chose to wear a slender skirted corsetless dress. The dark blue color of tears cried from storm clouds. It was perhaps too thin of a gown to wear at night, but it was easy to move about in, although Tella was still breathless by the time she reached the sapphire wing where Scarlet was staying. Only Scarlet wasn't in her room. Tella knocked for a full minute, nearly brushing her knuckles on the heavy wood door, giving her admin Scarlet had about not leaving the palace at night and becoming accidentally caught up in the game. Tella expected her sister to be safely in her suite, but either Scarlet had lost track of time, which she doubted, or she was really hiding something with Tella. Tella had doubting her sister again, but wary as Scarlet was, it made no sense to her to be out, especially on evenings like this, when it seemed all of Elenda was Legends game board. Unlike the previous 2 nights where Legends constellations had been specific to their location, on this night they were covered every district in shimmering bursts of celestial blue. Tella found herself usually grateful for Armando for pressuring her and turning the second clue. Without it, Tella would have no idea where to begin her search. As she left the palace in the sky carriage, she saw stars forming all the traditional symbols in Caravel, a dazzling blue top hat, a bouquet of blue roses, a blue hourglass. Though those weren't the only shapes in the sky, constellations reminiscent, and the fates hovered over Valenda's hill and district so well. Tella spotted a jeweled eye patch, a dagger crown, a skeleton key, a cage of pearls, lips sewn shut, and a pair of shimmering dark blue wings. The wings were probably meant to represent the fallen star, but they were so achingly similar to the wings tattooed on Dante's back that Tella's dying heart managed to speed up at the sight of them, filling her veins with a warm rush of blood. When her carriage touched down in the spice quarter, Tella found herself looking round for Dante, and he didn't appear to be following her that night. She glanced back up to the starry-bright sky, wondering which constellation he was beneath, and if he were there with someone else. She pictured his white tattooed hands on another girl's neck, brushing her pulse as he charmed her with the same little words he said to Tella the night before. "Even if I was in legend, I would want you to win." Tella's stomach clenched painfully at that thought. Not that she wanted Dante there with her. She didn't need to be distracted by his cryptic teasing or the low sound of his voice. The narrow streets of the quarter were enough of diversion. Every lane of alley was packed, much fuller than the last time she ever visited. The colorful inhabitants of the spice quarter mingled with the holiday merchants who appeared to be preparing the city for Valentine's Eve by selling overpriced bits of costumes. The merchants stood in front of almost every shop, all of them shouting, 5 coppers for the murdered king's crown, 3 coppers for the pearly cage worn by the maiden's death, 4 coppers for the Prince of Hearts mask, 2 coppers for Kaya's garlands, 1 copper for the unwedded bride's veil of tears. Tella didn't notice any of Legend's performers, at least that she knew of, among them, but she thought she spied other people playing the game. More than once she heard someone knock on the brick wall and say, "Legend sent me," or if it were a clue to open some hidden door that would lead to the next clue. She invited their energy, and their carelessness ever softens. Whatever course these people were on, they seemed very different from hers. Either Legend was personally toying with Tella, or they weren't all playing the same game. The second clue she received told Tella to seek the woman of the parchment and ink, which clearly indicated the older lady who worked at Valentine's Most Wanted. But when Tella arrived, no one was there. The scent of tall tales, charcoal pencils, and parchment tickled Tella's nose. As she stepped further in one corner of the shop, a slim square of the space was set aside for a disorganized yet well-appointed art studio. Everything else was covered in paper. Even the ceiling was plastered with yellowing posters that appeared to be older than the shop's absent proprietor. Tella tried to take in every image as she waited for the old woman to return. 3 posters were not scraps of paper with a hastily drawn fleet. These were works of art, with detailed renderings of criminals that Tella had only heard rumors of. There were many she'd not heard of as well. Every square of parchment and canvas seemed to tell marvelous as it was masquerade. Augustus, the Impaler's name, apparently said it all. There was also the Duchess of Daw, wanted for inland piracy, selling poisons and seduction. I don't know seduction was a crime, Tella murmured. Depends on who you're trying to seduce. Tella spun around, but instead of finding the ink-stained crone, Tella came face to face with the girl in a luminous parchment-white gown, sewn together with thick black stitches that made her look as if she could have been one of the ink portraits escaped from the wall. Eiko, another one of Legend's performers. She was always difficult for Tella to read. Eiko generally kept to herself, since her job was to observe. She worked as a hairdresser, analyzing the history of Garber by drawing significant events in a magical notebook, which was currently tucked under her arm. Her appearance clearly meant that Tella was on the correct path, but Tella couldn't honestly say she was happy to see the girl. Tella liked Eiko enough outside of the game, but she preferred to have avoided her inside the game. Eiko was known for masking unforgiving bargains. During the last carnival, she had made a deal with Scarlet that her cost her sister 2 days of her life. Scarlet's temporary death had not been like Tella's, but it was still not something Tella would ever willingly experience again. You're welcome to look as long as you wish, Eiko said, but choose wisely before asking a question. I'll only answer one for free, and after that each must cost you something irreplaceable. Can I just ask for the next clue? You can, but I won't give it to you. The most I can do is guide you toward it, if you manage to ask a better question next time. Blast it. Tella hadn't meant that to come out like a question. She kept her mouth shut, as her eyes wandered over several more posters, searching for an actual figure from the deck of destiny, hoping it might possibly lead to the next clue. She didn't spy any face, but she did see crimes ranging from blood drinking and cannibalism to, normal accuracy, selling bad spells. Tella halted. All thoughts of crimes and clues and fates fled from her thoughts as she reached the poster in the center of the back wall. She forgot how to excel, how to speak, how to blink, how to move. Trimmed in the starry border, this portrait was prettier than the others, though maybe that was also because the beautiful face beneath the word wanted. A face that bore an uncanny resemblance to Tella and Scarlet's missing mother, Paloma.